Hi, Master Hammonds here with the topic of the day. We've been asked by a bunch of the students and actually several of the teachers, because of our bully proofing book, asked us about bullying and how to deal with it. We're going to do a three-part series. First of all, we want to define what is bullying, because I think sometimes, especially teachers, you see so much during the day that it kind of gets all wrapped up. Bullying actually has three components. The first is it's aggressive behavior. It's unwanted. It's a lot of times it's physical in nature, but it's just unwanted or has an intention. Imagine a negative action, pushing, shoving, spitting, things like that. It's very aggressive. The second aspect of bullying, it involves a pattern. It's repeated. And that's where people get confused, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but it's a repeated pattern of negative, unwanted behavior. And then finally, it's an imbalance of power. Either somebody who's very socially acceptable, they're popular, or there's three or four of them versus one, where there's four people making fun of another person, or an imbalance of power now is cyberbullying, because I can put something out there on the internet, and one person has a very large voice by putting something out on the internet. Some things that bullying is not. It's not rude. Sometimes people are simply offensive. They're impolite. They're rude. And if somebody's rude to your child, they're not bullying. And if it's a one-time event or even just every now and again, it happens. A lot of kids don't know how to deal with social cues. As parents, we need to make sure our children understand that if somebody doesn't like their shoes or their shirt, that's not bullying. That's a preference. And also being mean. Mean, it can be an average of things, reverting to the mean, or mean is actually an intent. So I can intend to be harmful. I can say mean things. I can intend to be mean or abusive and hit you, but it's like a one-time event. It's not repeated. It's not from a position of power all the time. Sometimes just lashing out. So again, the three components of bullying is one, it is aggressive behavior. It's unwanted, negative, aggressive behavior. Two, it is repeated. It's something that you have kids that don't want to go to school because you hear them say every day something happens. That's repeated behavior. And then the other, finally, is an imbalance of power. And that can be created a lot of ways. Some of the different types of bullying that we deal with are verbal. People saying things, saying they start out being mean or rude, and then all of a sudden 3 or 4 people join in, and now it becomes bullying because that's the topic for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So there's verbal bullying. There's social bullying. That's through exclusion. Hey, come sit at my table, don't sit at his table. Or people, they don't want to sit next to you, they don't pick you in the games, and that is a social form of bullying. And we need to empower our kids that find somebody who does like you. There's always somebody on the playground who will enjoy playing with you. Physical bullying is what most people are most accustomed to understanding. If they're pushing, biting, spitting, that's something that happens that it's real easy to detect because it's physical. Some things that are not easy to detect: lying. People say things to get other kids to make fun of or to not like or don't sit with them, so they'll say lies and be mean that way. They will take things. They will take their money, their lunch money. They will take things that are of value. They will take things that they need, such as a book or homework, and do something with it, and that is a form of bullying. Not being able to get what you need in a timely manner. It's repeated, and it creates that imbalance of power. But a couple of things that really, that you got to watch out for is the threat of force. Is if you don't do what I say, or you don't act how I act, or you don't do something I want, we are going to do something to you. We're going to hurt you. We're going to exclude you. We're going to do something along those lines, because that threat of force is not something quantifiable. You don't see it at the time. And so we need to make sure that our kids, our number one rule here at Martial Arts Advantage is lying is always wrong. We never keep secrets from our parents. So empower your children that there is no wrong. You come and talk to you, and open dialogue shuts a lot of this down. And finally, they're racial and sexual, making fun of a gender, making fun of hair, making fun of skin color. But the most important aspect of it, and the thing that I worry about the most, because I have 3 daughters and a big son, he'll take care of most of my business, but cyberbullying. What we did not, we being, I'm 53 years old, so I didn't have to worry about that growing up. If I got beat up, I got beat up, but it wasn't put on YouTube for 1 million people to like. So the cyberbullying thing is really tough because nobody wants to see that anyway. much less have, a million likes or a million views. So if you have a child who has a phone that has the camera capability, make sure we talk to them about the proper way to use that. What's the do's and don'ts of using that object? And just make sure we keep an open dialogue with the kids. And if there's any problems, there is no wrong problem. Any problem is a problem. Perception is reality. If they feel threatened, they feel scared, they feel like something's happening, let's take that as a serious sign that we need some intervention. So next time we'll be talking about a 4-step process to help encourage the kids and empower them to deal with these type of situations. Thank you very much.